Once upon a time, in a bright green valley wrapped between gentle hills, lived a tiny sprite named Nori. Her garden was her pride. Every petal, pebble, and patch of moss was exactly where it should be. She watered her flowers at sunrise, polished the pond stones at noon, and hummed to the tulips at sunset. Everything was in perfect order, just the way she liked it. But one morning, Nori woke and gasped. The garden had changed overnight. Blue tulips stood where orange ones had been, vines had climbed over the pond, and a silver hummingbird hovered over a flower she never planted. "This can't be right," she whispered, fluttering her tiny leaf wings. She traced the pattern of strange footprints leading from the pond to the far end of her garden, to a hidden door carved into the roots of an old tree. Curious, Nori pushed it open. Behind it stretched a glowing realm she'd never seen before. Trees that shimmered like glass, flowers that whispered softly, and air that shimmered with color. "Welcome, Nori," said a calm, musical voice. Before her stood a tall, silver being draped in petals. "I am Loomis, guardian of change. Our realm shifts with each dawn, but someone is trying to stop that if everything becomes still. Our world will fade." Nori blinked, clutching her watering jug. "I'm just a gardener. I don't know how to help." Loomis smiled gently. "Even gardeners understand growth. Will you come?" Nori nodded. Together, they stepped into the world of change. As they walked, Nori saw rivers twist mid-flow and trees grow new leaves in seconds. It frightened her. "Everything keeps moving," she whispered. "Yes," Loomis said. "Change can be messy, but it's life's heartbeat." Soon, they met 3 other sprites. Fyra, with flickering orange hair that sparkled like a flame. Maren, a soft mist sprite who shimmered like fog. And Brim, a sturdy stone sprite who spoke slowly but kindly. Each sprite struggled with their nature. Fyra's flames burned to hot. Maren's mist drifted away, and Brim felt heavy and dull. Yet they all wanted to help save the realm. As they journeyed together, Nori learned from them. Fyra taught her that mistakes could still shine. Maren showed her how things could flow gently, not perfectly. And Brim proved that even the slowest roots can move mountains. After many days, they reached the edge of a giant crystal tower, tall and still as frozen time. Nothing grew near it. Flowers outside were gray. Birds hovered motionless. The air felt cold and silent. Loomis frowned. "The keeper of stillness lives there. She believes beauty means nothing must ever change." Nori shivered, but stepped forward bravely. "If she wins, everything alive will stop breathing." They joined hands. Fyra's fire melted the ice at the gate. Maren's mist slipped through cracks. Brim pushed the stones apart. Nori whispered to the gate as she touched it, her small hands glowing green. "You were once wood and leaf," she murmured. "You can grow again." With a tremble, the gate opened. Inside, the tower gleamed with cold beauty, frozen streams, motionless vines, and statues of creatures mid-movement. At the center stood the keeper, robed in silver and calm. Her voice echoed, "I preserve perfection. Change destroys." Nori's voice was small but steady. "But change makes life beautiful. Flowers bloom and fade so others can grow. Seasons turn so the world can rest and begin again." The keeper frowned. "Change brings chaos." "Maybe," Nori said softly, "but chaos brings color too." She placed her hands on the glowing heart seed in the middle of the chamber, the crystal that powered the tower. Her friends joined, their fire, mist, and stone circling her light. The seed began to pulse. Cracks spread up the walls. A bird trapped in ice twitched, then flapped its wings. The glow filled the room until everything shimmered, and then burst into color. The tower crumbled into sparkling dust. Outside, flowers opened again, rivers flowed, and the frozen sky began to sing. The keeper fell to her knees, tears rolling down her pale cheeks. "I only wanted beauty to last," she whispered. Nori smiled kindly. "It will, if we let it live." For the first time, the keeper smiled back. She turned, and her silver robes changed to soft colors, living colors. The land began to breathe again. When it was over, Loomis bowed to Nori. "You brought balance back. You understand now. Change isn't the enemy of order. It's part of it." Nori looked down at her little hands, glowing faintly. "I think I do." She stepped through the root door back to her own garden. The tulips were blooming in new colors now, blue beside orange, vines curling playfully round stones. Instead of fixing everything, she smiled and let it be. You're perfect as you are, she whispered to her garden. From that day on, Nori's garden became the most magical in all the valley. Sprites came from far away to learn from her. She taught them to guide gently but never force, to water plants and dreams alike, and to let surprises bloom where they may. And every night, before closing her eyes, Nori thanked the wind for moving her petals, the rain for reshaping her soil, and time for teaching her that life as beauty lies not in staying the same, but in growing, glowing, and changing with love. The moral of the story: change is not something to fear. It's what keeps the world alive and beautiful.